Hey there, YouTube, is Lipid out here with another reaction video. Today we got the CEO who smuggled himself out of the country. The big steal by Vice News. Let's get right into it, shall we? Hit it.
On a cold December night in 2019, a musical instrument case left Kansai International Airport aboard a private jet. Its pilot seemingly unaware of the illegal cargo he was carrying, because inside that box lay the man, Carlos Ghosn, former chairman of Nissan and CEO of Renault, now leaving Japan a fugitive, accused of breach of trust, misappropriation of funds, and underreporting $80 million of his own salary. This is the big steal. We should begin this video by saying that no alleged theft has yet been proven. Ghosn's dramatic escape, which made headlines around the world and inspired internet memes, also meant his case never actually went to court. So how does a titan of the automobile industry fall from such grace? Carlos Ghosn is a Brazilian-born French-Lebanese engineer who began his career at Michelin and worked his way up to CEO of its North America operations. In 1996, he became executive vice president at ailing French car maker Renault, oversaw a successful turnaround in profits, and earned the moniker Le Cost Killer.
Le Cost Killer, okay.
In 1999, Renault purchased a 36.8% stake at Japanese car maker Nissan, then $35 billion in debt and producing a fleet of unpopular cars. A strategic alliance was forged between the two companies, and Ghosn headed for Japan with a brutal restructuring plan. He went on to close factories, let go of suppliers, and laid off 14% of the workforce. 6 years later, Nissan's market capitalization had quintupled, its operating margin had risen tenfold, and it took the number 2 automaker spot from Honda.
Effective.
In the process, Ghosn became a national celebrity, the first foreign business leader to receive a blue ribbon medal from Emperor Akihito, the hero character in a manga or Japanese comic book, and even the face of a Lebanese postage stamp.
まあ雑誌なんかでは怖い人だなとは思ったんですけど実際見てみるとお茶目なところが手を振ってくれたり
はい、今までにね斬新なところが好感に思っています。
But in a nation known for its strict social standards, Ghosn ruffled a few feathers. As the head of 2 Fortune 500 companies, Ghosn was making $16.9 million a year, well in the range of bosses of other global automakers. But in Japan, where the average salaryman slaves away with a sense of communal pride almost as important as the pay, Ghosn was making nearly 5 times that of Toyota's president, Akio Toyoda. His globe-trotting lifestyle came with the use of a corporate jet and luxury homes in Rio, Paris, Beirut, as well as Tokyo. The Cost Killer also spent $200 million for Nissan to be a sponsor at the 2016 Rio Olympics, paid a Lebanese artist $888,000 to create a statue for the company's Yokohama headquarters, and threw a lavish party for the 50th birthday of his wife at the Palais de Versailles, rumored to cost $700,000, with Nissan footing the bill.
Okay, I gotta admit, I was okay with all of that, but goddamn, that is expensive. $700,000.
To cap it off, critics inside and outside Nissan started to question Ghosn's worth. 2008, the world financial crisis. The automotive industry was in the dumps, and Nissan wasn't spared. The miraculous turnaround Ghosn had orchestrated had started to stall. Midway through his Power 88 plan, calling for Nissan to reach 8% profit and 8% market share, it became clear the company would fall short of the ambitious targets he had set. Dealers complained that they were losing money and that Ghosn's big incentives to buyers were eating into their margins. They also grumbled that Nissan was selling too many vehicles to rental companies that would flood the secondary buyer's market. In 2018, Ghosn was handed a fresh mandate to make the Renault-Nissan alliance irreversible, essentially joining the two companies into a single entity. In Japan, this was greeted with deep suspicion. Word has it that Nissan's top executives, who were already feeling vulnerable about the company's declining performance, were now worried that Nissan could become just another outpost of an international group, and it pushed them to move against the linchpin of the alliance himself, Carlos Ghosn. November 2018, Ghosn was summoned to Japan under the pretext of a high-level meeting. As his private jet hit the tarmac, the Nissan chairman was picked up by a car, taken to a side room at immigration, and thrown into a prison cell within hours.
In the past few minutes, Nissan has revealed that its chairman has been arrested after allegations of serious misconduct.
Board member Greg Kelly, one of Ghosn's closest confidants, was also arrested at a different Japanese airport. Prosecutors, who said they were acting on information provided by an internal investigation at Nissan itself, charged both men for underreporting Ghosn's salary over a period of 4 years to the tune of $44 million. This allegation was later expanded, taking the total to $80 million over 8 years. It turns out an alleged payment package of nearly $10 million a year was secretly being allocated for Ghosn's retirement package. In the months that followed, more charges were added, which included diverting personal investment losses to Nissan's books, paying $15 million of company money to a Saudi business associate for personal gain, and skimming $5 million paid to a distributor in Oman.
The charges against me are baseless.
Ghosn denies all charges, insisting the transactions were all above board.
And unfortunately, this is one of those situations where if you know anything about Japan's criminal system, which I don't, but they have a very high conviction rate, almost 100%. I think, 99.6, or was it? It was really high, as I understand it. So it's almost as though you're presumed to be guilty even before you have a chance to prove you're innocent. And that's assuming it's months or years before you even get put in front of a court.
And that his salary, which was meant to be paid after his retirement, was never received. He and his lawyers called the entire process a sham, alluding that certain vindictive, inglorious individuals within Nissan and the Japanese political ranks had colluded to dethrone him and prevent further integration between Nissan and Renault. According to Ghosn, he spent 4 months in a cell with a small window, subjected to daily interrogation, as prosecutors sought a confession.
It will get worse for you if you don't just confess.
And 130 days in a windowless cell in solitary confinement. Yes, the Japanese government put an international CEO accused of a non-violent crime under solitary confinement for over 3 months. In March 2019, he was briefly released, only to be rearrested a month later on new charges, then placed under house arrest. So, after 128 days in detention on December 29, Carlos Ghosn simply walked out of his Tokyo home, met up with 2 men, and caught the bullet train from Tokyo to Osaka.
Okay.
His associates arranged for him to be flown out in a luggage case bound for Beirut, where the disgraced businessman was received with huge pride and sympathy by the public.
Having endured more than 400 days of inhumane
Well, to be
treatment.
fair, I don't think that was, if I recall this story, it wasn't that he directly flew to Beirut. I think he flew to a stopover point and then I think transferred luggages or transferred onto a different plane, and then he flew to his destination airport, which is fair
In a
enough.
system designed to break me and unwilling to provide me even minimal justice.
Which, to be fair, right, and this is the confusing thing, even if he's wrong, like, let's say that he actually was colluding and he actually was, taking more money than he should have, the way you went about trying to get him to confess makes his side of the story of, well, they're forcing a confession out of me, you're giving that, that stands a lot more weight. So, yeah, I can see why he doesn't want to go back to Japan or why he doesn't want to deal with the Japanese justice system. He says if they still have solid evidence against him, then put it on international court, which is, I think, what he's trying to pull.
I was left with no other choice.
But to escape.
Eventually, it came to light that other executives, men who had given evidence on Ghosn, including standing CEO Hiroto Saikawa, have been illegally increasing their salary for years. The exact same crime Ghosn was accused of. In March 2022, a Tokyo court found Greg Kelly guilty of helping Ghosn hide part of his income from regulators, but rejected the prosecutor's case that he was part of a larger conspiracy to conceal up to $80 million of earnings. So did Carlos Ghosn commit the financial crimes he is accused of?
Here's the thing. I think this is kind of the crux of the situation, which is even if let's say he's guilty, assuming he's guilty, which is not how I think we should go about things. But assuming he's guilty, you then going to have to start pulling fingers at every single executive on that board that has been doing the exact same thing. And you got to remove one, you got to remove all of them. It's either that or you don't prosecute the case at all, in which case you are actually targeting the one foreigner who actually was running the company, which, hey, it is what it is.
Or is it all just a conspiracy between Nissan officials and
Okay,
Japanese?
look, I think we're actually throwing the word conspiracy around. I think it's a conspiracy if there is not nearly enough proof that you would actually be considered mad saying a theory out loud. This theory has enough weight in my eyes to basically say, hey, you could make the argument they wanted him gone or wanted him going, and they got him gone. Pun intended, for sure.
Authorities to oust their former
100%.
chairman. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. The problem is no one can agree on when, where, and how a fair trial could take place.
Yes. Fair enough. I think that's about it. I like the whole situation when it actually came out was wild. Like the whole newspaper articles and everyone was discussing, like, bro, if they made a movie on how my man's escaped just, through like a musical instrument box on 2 private jets. I think it was 2 private jets. I think either was the same private jet that had to take off twice on 2 different airports, or he had to change planes, as I understand it. But I know there's a part where they change planes. I'm sure of that. But yeah, that's about it. This is from Vice World News. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you beautiful bastards in the next one. Peace. Take care. Nice.